So hello everyone. So I will start another new topic and the new chapter in today's class. That is the fourth unit. The fourth unit mainly revolves around the switched capacitance minimization. Switched capacitance minimization. So it is one of the problem of switching capacitance minimization. So to minimize this disadvantage or switched capacitance minimization, so it is possible to use so whatever the design we are designed, say that it may be a combinational circuit or combinational circuit or sequential circuit, so that is possible to operate the device with help of the both hardware and software based approaches to minimize switched capacitance. To minimize switched capacitance, so simply you can call it as a hardware software co-design approach is used to overcome the switched capacitance minimization. So what will happen? The switched capacitance means so already in the previous unit or previous chapter we have discussed various voltage scaling approaches. So already we are discussed various voltage scaling approaches. Those are nothing but nothing but constant field voltage scaling and the constant voltage scaling. Constant field voltage scaling and the constant voltage scaling, and also we seen what is short channel effects and what is different architectural level approaches. So the in architectural level approaches we seen the parallel approach and also combining parallel and multi-level circuit approaches. So already we seen in that circuit. So here mainly we have to discuss in this chapter. So whatever we are followed the scaling approaches. So those are also providing the most effective techniques to minimize dynamic power dissipation. So why we are doing that scaling approaches means, so whatever the dynamic power dissipation takes place in any type of circuit, so in that circuit, so mainly we have, by following those scaling techniques, we have to reduce the uh, reducing the dynamic power dissipation. So this minimizing switched capacitance is also another alternative approach, another alternative approach to minimize the dynamic power dissipation. So whenever we minimize the dynamic power dissipation dissipation, so those are also those are also those technique is also, or those circuits is also operate under low power. So that means whenever we have to control the static power dissipation and the dynamic power dissipation, so completely that will reduces the disadvantages of the circuit, and those are conveniently operated under low power methodology. So here in this chapter we have to mainly concentrate on switched capacitance minimization. So this switched capacitance, we have to use some of the bus encoding techniques to reduce the switching activity. So in this bus encoding techniques, we have the both redundant and non-redundant approaches. So we have the both non-redundant and non-redundant bus encoding approaches. So we'll also see what is non-redundant and redundant bus encoding approaches to maintain the capacitance minimization. In case of non-redundant bus encoding technique, that is equal to gray coding technique. So already you see gray coding. I think you studied the gray coding technique in switching theory and logic design. So that redundant bus encoding is equal to gray coding technique for proper addressing we have to given. So that will also we have to see in this unit. And another one is redundant bus encoding technique. So that is similar to one hot encoding or bus inversion encoding or transmitter encoding techniques. So these are also we have to use with the clock gating technique. So that clock gating technique is also used to reduce the switching activity of the device. So these are all comes under finite state mission. So this finite state mission is also reduces the power consumption of the different VLSI circuits, different VLSI cycle. So for this one, so before going to these different topics, so we have to see what is, first of all we have to see what is the capacitance minimization means. So here we have to that will be managing the design capacitance. So this capacitance minimization. So in case already whenever we are fabricating the circuit, so we have in that gate delay and parasitic capacitance and some capacitance values are present while we are designing a mass circuit. So during the fabrication, we have so many oxide capacitance and parasitic capacitance. So these are values will very effective to maintain to reduce the static and power discharge. So whenever we have to minimize these capacitance values, so those circuits so simply controls the static and power dynamic dissipation. So here we have seen that will be displayed a graph in terms of the multiplier inputs and the metric how many driving large loads will be uh, occupied a specific value for these values. So in horizontally that will be represented with multiplier value, and vertically it will be represented with metric value. So the device sizing for power efficiency. So these are all for the capacitance minimization or scaling minimization, whatever that will decides the size of the device. So this size will decides the power efficiency. So how effectively that will be utilizing the power, so that will decide the size of the circuit. So that is significantly different than the size sizing for performance. So this efficiency and that sizing, so that will be opposite to one factor to another factor. So in this graph we have to see the sizing of the gate size multiplier in exponential manner of inverters for driving large loads. So whenever we have if that the metric value will be changes, then we will get a large delay from the power consumption and the performance of the device will get the large difference. That means if the metric value will be changes, so even though that will maintain the same inputs and the same configuration, but the energy delay will be reduces. That means so whenever the capacitance, that means the value of the capacitance increases, so simply that will consumes more power, and that the circuit performance will not be accurate. The circuit performance will not be accurate. So to minimize these capacitance values, to maintain we have to go for different techniques. That is nothing but first one is uh, hardware software co-design, hardware software co-design technique. And also in this chapter we have also study various approaches based on the switched capacitance minimization that will be considered that can be minimized at various levels of design hierarchy. So here we have to see a system level approach. So in hardware software co-design, so that will come into the system level approach. So on this system level approach, we have to learn that will be present what is transmitter screws processor, so how it will be minimized by using a specific processor. So this will shows how the function of a complex hardware is replaced by a software to achieve low power. So that means whenever we have to maintain a proper software with a specific hardware, so the software will with a specific hardware, so that will also controls the dynamic power dissipation of the circuit. So and that will also control the capacitance values of that circuit, the capacitance value of the circuit. So that will also uh, uh, gives the functional gate values, functional gate values. So here we will see a specific a specific system level approach, that is uh, hardware software co-design, hardware software co-design. So here we have some standby power reduction techniques, that is, so the standby power, that means so the device will be operated in a normal configuration. So whenever the device, for example our mobile battery will come to 15%, 15%, so that is the standby power, the standby power. That means so the device will operate uh, that will be the device will operate within 15 minutes of 15 minutes of time. That means so if that whenever the battery comes to the standby power, so if you are doing uh, another excessive operations, so simply that excessive operations will drain the battery, and that standby power will be reduced to 0. Then simply the device will go to the switch off mode. Or sometimes so if you do another irregular operation during that standby power case, so some devices uh, uh, will be will be spoiled or will be burnout. So the devices will be spoiled, and the devices does not perform the regular functionality. So to overcome that standard power uh, can be reduced through some of the values. Those are nothing but the capacitance minimization and the voltage scaling and the power gating. So these capacitance minimization will also performed by some of the system level of approaches. Those are nothing but hardware uh, software design. So here the what is the capacitance minimization is, so these are the some of the devices. So this capacitance minimization only reduced with help of the device width of that circuit. That means that will be whatever we are designing the transistor or the type of design based on the length of the width. Whenever we are maintaining proper length and width, so by following the length of the channel and width of the channel, simply we have to minimize the capacitance values of that device. So if we not follow this capacitance minimization, so it will be introduce some leaking currents that will be the leaking will be occurred, that will be in terms of that will introduce short channel effects, and that will be introduce glitches, some of the glitches in that circuit. So that will due to that leakage, so that will runs counter to the complexity. So the counter will become as a complexity, and that runs counter to the system on chip trend. So that will not perfect on a system on chip uh, technology, and the transistors are not in free, even though they are not in switched to the switched, they still leak. So even though we placed or we designed very perfectly, so due to this uh, leakage of that means the varying of the capacitance value from one manner to another manner. So due to this leakage, so the transistors are not in our control. So even though these are not, those are in ideal condition or properly switched, so simply they will exhibit some leakage during this condition. So to overcome this capacitance minimization, so we have to use some of the supply and power gating techniques, supply and uh, power gating techniques. So that will be some mainly we will see in multi-transistor CMOS technologies. CMOS is the one of the main design, and also we will see that is mainly in a specific. So it is one of the SOC design, SOC. So that will be name it as Hitachi SH4 HS4. So that will reduces the leakage reduction. The leakage reduction will be reduced, that will be in terms of greater than 100x. So this will be reduced by and hardware software co-design. So here I want to give one of the example, a real example for this approach, that is for this system level approach. So here so whatever you are seeing, it is one type of design design. So that will be reduced the uh, that will control the values of the capacitance values, and also that will reduces the leakage. So for example, we can consider so we are well known that a particular functionality can be realized purely by hardware. So in this hardware software co-design, to minimize the leakage and to minimize the capacitance value of the any design, so we have to combinedly we have to use both the hardware and software co-design functionalities. So that is simply, so first of all we didn't introduce the software. So first we have to consider purely a hardware part, purely a hardware part. So here I want to explain uh, the example of a microcontrolled based system to monitor the temperature of water bath. So in our homes or in so many luxury five-star hotels or in so many villas, so they will have a water bath. So that water bath whatever the water quantity in that water bath, so that will be monitor the water temperature will monitor with a microcontroller based system. So same thing that whatever that that operation or that device will performing, the situation will happening in the water bath. So that will be we will take an example for this system level approach, that is for hardware software co-design. So to do that functionality, that means whatever I told, a microcontroller based system to monitor the temperature of a water bath. So that the to do that functionality, so this application will require so to perform that functionality, that means we have one water bath. So we have to monitor whatever the water quantity in the water bath. So we have to monitor that water temperature. So for that one, we require a microcontroller to monitor that temperature. So first of all, to fulfill that application, so first of all, we will require an analog to digital converter. An analog to digital converter. So that analog to digital converter is to convert the analog data obtained from a temperature transducer to a digital form. So why we are requiring so these converters, I think already was studied in your that means whatever linear integrated circuit applications, LICA. So how that converter will converts the value from analog to digital and digital to analog. So how which type of devices we have to use in different analog to digital converters. So we have so many analog to digital converters and digital to analog converters. So in the type, so we have to require one A to D converter, that means analog to digital converter. So this is used for to convert the analog data. This analog data obtained from the temperature transducer. So simply for whatever for bath, we have to place this transducer. So the transducer will converting one form to another form. So that means whatever temperature, that means that may be analog value, so that the transducer will gives exact value from one value to, that means analog to this converter. So this temperature transducer to a digital form. So that device can be processed by the central processing unit, and that converter A to DC converter will be given to the a CPU, that means processing unit, central processing unit of the microcontroller. So now we have to, now in this condition we have to assume the microcontroller is that doesn't have inbuilt ADC. So here we have the microcontrollers with own ADC, and if that microcontroller doesn't have its own ADC, so externally we have to connect another converter, that means ADC. So there are two alternative approaches to implement the ADCs. So here the problem is, so here we are discussing so a water bath, so that will be water bath monitoring monitor the temperature with a microcontroller. So for do that or for fulfill that application, we require a simple microcontroller, so that microcontroller should have an ADC. That means, so from that water we have to know what is the temperature will be inconsisting with that water, and that temperature will controlled by the microcontroller. For example, greater than 50 degree or consider 30 degrees centigrade of the temperature, so that will be that water will become very hot condition. So to control that water, so that will be normally we have to simple for bathing purpose, so we require from 15 degrees centigrade to some 22 degrees centigrade is enough for to bath. So normal condition. So in this condition, so in case of the winter, so that may be a change from 50 to 60 degree conditions for the winter cases. So greater than 75 degrees centigrade, so that water like as a very burning situation. సో బర్నింగ్ మీన్స్ మనకి ఏ విధంగా అయితే ఈ కాలిపోయే ఎలా అయితే ఈ స్కిన్ అనేది కొలాప్స్, దట్ మీన్స్ కాల్చుకోవడం ఇలాంటివి ఉంటాయో, అసలు అలాంటి కండిషన్లో ఉంటాను. సో అలాంటి కాకుండా మనకి ఈ రేంజ్లో మెయింటైన్ చేయడం కోసము we have to establish a microcontroller. So here we have a problem with ADC. So some of the microcontrollers has its own ADC. So at the time we don't want any software to operate those type of microcontroller. But here we that microcontroller doesn't have its own ADC. So that's why externally we are adding analog to digital converter, so to fulfill the application. So here we have to connect external ADCs. So we have two approaches. So approach one is, so an ADC chip is interfaced. So here we are going for approach one. So that is ADC chip is interfaced externally for microcontroller, and this approach involves the use of uh, this uses a costly ADC chip along with a few lines of program code to read the ADC data. So whenever we are adding that ADC chip to the microcontroller. So at the time for the two devices require some meaningful software to understand or to operate the two devices with one device to another, one device to another. So the ADC chip can be selected based on the sampling rate and the precision of the digital data, and also similarly the software is also required to some of the performancing data. That means so this approach can provide higher performance in terms of conversion time and the sampling rate. So this to do this process, so we require higher cost and higher power dissipation. So to fulfill this approach one, so that will be require higher cost and higher power dissipation. So here approach one is we doesn't have that microcontroller its own ADC. So to fulfill the water bath temperature, so we are going for external ADC. So if that we are adding an external ADC to the microcontroller, so that we require to operate those devices with a simple software. So that simple software or that microcontroller may require some of the sampling rate and the precision of the digital data. But whenever we are adding in this way, so it will take the this will whatever this approach can provide a higher performance. So that higher performance may be in terms of conversion time and the sampling rate. So whenever it performing in terms of the sampling rate, so it will consumes high power dissipation and also the cost. So we have to buy the software and we have to buy an external ADC chip. So this all will includes in terms of very higher cost. So to overcome this, so we have to go for an approach two. In approach two, we have the requirement analysis of the application is done. It is observed that the present application doesn't require fast conversion of the unlocked data to digital data. So yeah, this is happened because too the temperature of the water bath changes slowly and the sampling of the output of the temperature sensor can be done at the interval of a few seconds. So the ADC functionality can be implemented by software with few inexpensive external components such as digital to analog converter and a comparator. So that will be connected to any of the A by D conversion algorithm, such as that will be implemented in terms of approximation A by D approximation type software, and that will be utilizing the DAC. So by using this comparator, so we can simply compare the values of the uh, two designs. So in case in first approach, we have to adding an external ADC, but here also in the second approach also we are adding a ADC, but for for comparing the first case and the second case. So in case of the first case, so they have operated with the sampling rate and the conversion time. So due to performing those operations, so that will takes much more much more power dissipation. So whatever the actual required will be exceeded by this concept. So, and in case of the second approach, so simply we are considering a simple converter and a simple sensor. Converter and the simple sensor, and that converter and sensor will be given to the comparator. So whenever that temperature will be excessive, so simply that will that comparator gives an alert signal. So there will be excessive temperature is going on. So simply that will be turn off, or that will be turned out at that point. So that is the second approach. So because so that water will be heated, so step by step, there is no need of fast conversion time and the sampling rate. So to whatever the disadvantages included in the approach one, so we going for approach two. Approach, so for that also we have to we have to maintain a low dynamic power dissipation, and also uh, we have to maintain, or that values will be uh, that values are controlled the capacitance values. So thus that approach, so in case of first approach, so that provides a fast conversion time at the cost of higher, and also the area of the chip also is very high. But in alternative approach, the hardware cost and chip area are lower, but the conversion time is longer. So for this application, there are a trade-off between how we have to implement hardware and with help of the software. So this concept is call it as hardware and software co-design. Hardware and software co-design. So each this process involves partitioning of the system to be realized into two distinct parts. That means in terms of hardware and software. So here this whatever we shown the leakage reduction in this H4 processor. So the same will be, so that will be the same concept. Those are operated in between the VDD of P-type transistor and the VDD of N-type transistor. So that will be similarly operate between these voltages, in these voltages. So based on these type of techniques, so we have to successfully estimate the leakage power consumption, and also we have to reduce the switching capacitance minimization by switching capacitance minimization. So whatever we have to fulfill any type of application, with any type of approaches. But what is the required one, efficient one to perform that application? So that will be considered by the perfect VLSI design engineer. So here in this example only, for example, we have to consider this uh, temperature monitoring of microcontrol based system of water bath only. We have two approaches. So first approaches also satisfies, the first approach is also satisfies the or fulfills the uh, application procedure, but there will be some of the disadvantage. But for that application we didn't require that much of most valuable equipment, and that must we didn't require that much of most highest sampling rate and highest conversion, the precision rate of the digital data. So by choosing that uh, approach, so that capacitance value will be increases. So due to that capacitance value increases, uh, that will be the power consumption of the circuit will be increases. So due to that power consumption will increases, so the device will not operate under a low power. So we have another alternate approach. So we are going for that approach to fulfill that uh, to fulfill the monitoring of water bath temperature. So here, so that will the second approach fulfills. So it does not consuming very high power, and also it the cost is also in reasonable value. The cost is also in reasonable value. So that is, so by following these approaches, that means this low power circuit approaches. So by following a specific technology and the scaling and the power, so uh, we have to operate the circuit under low power category. So sometimes the technology and the scaling has not solved the this low power and the energy problem. So to do that, we have go for some more techniques. Those are nothing but some of the scaling techniques, and also some of this software and hardware co-design factors, software and hardware co-design factors. So in this chapter we see completely what is the hardware and the software used for specific approaches, and what is meant by bus encoding. So in this bus encoding we will see clock gating and one hot coding. So these concepts will covered in this unit. So mainly for to maintain a low power, so we have to support low voltage, and we have to support power down modes, and we have to choose the right mix of threshold voltage, and the device sizing will be made properly, and we have to choose a right VDD. We have to choose a perfect VDD voltage for a specific IC. So whenever we have to follow these uh, steps, or we have to follow these conditions, then successfully we have to operate the device under low power category. So mainly here we have so many parameters while fabricating the mass devices, or while fabricating a different type of integrated circuit. So mainly we have to concentrate. So mainly we have to reduce the dynamic power dissipation. So to reduce the dynamic power dissipation, so we are following so many techniques. Those are nothing but scaling, and another one is the software and hardware co-design, and also some architectural approaches and the system level approaches. So to following that, so main our agenda is so the whatever we manufactured IC should be operate successfully under low power category. So that is about today's class. So we'll continue we have to discuss remaining topics in tomorrow's class. Thank you for